everyone, and welcome to part 7 of my self-publishing journey. Are you tired of hearing me saying that yet? So, throughout this journey, I've learned quite a few lessons the hard way. And while I'm definitely of the opinion that it is very rare for people to learn from someone else's mistakes, I still felt like I wanted to combine a small list of tips for anyone who's thinking about publishing a book. And they apply to both self-publishing as well as traditional publishing. For the impatient kind, I have put all the timestamps in the description below, should you feel like skipping ahead. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, find a community. Having writer friends to talk to is so invaluable. Even if you have friends, family, or a spouse that are willing to listen to you whine about your book project not going as planned, they all have their limits. And even if they don't, they still won't be able to understand it fully if they are not writers themselves. But if you have a community, or even just 1 or 2 writer friends to talk to, they will understand immediately, and chances are they have gone through the exact same struggles at some point. So yeah, they really are invaluable, and another pro is that they can help in holding you accountable. Meaning that if they ask you every few days or so how things are going with your project, you might feel a bit more motivated to work on it, even when you don't really feel like it, just because you hate admitting to other people when you've been lazy. Or maybe that's just me. Number 2, take a break. I know that sounds contradictory to the previous thing I said, but they're not the same. It's always good to take a break after a specific milestone has been reached, like when you finished a draft, be it the first draft, second, third, etc., doesn't matter. Because getting some distance from your work allows you to see it with a new perspective the next time you open it up again. It's so easy getting into the jive of your story. The groove? The jive? Anyway, and you feel like it's amazing, and just that feeling continues as you continue working on it every day, or nearly every day at least. But then, taking a couple of months away from it every now and then really helps you see which parts actually are amazing and which are just plain cringy. I am of the opinion that it is not a good thing to be biased about your own writing, which I am aware is a contradictory statement, as it would be impossible to be completely unbiased, but I digress. I am my own worst critic, truly. People are always telling me I shouldn't be so hard on myself, but I can't help it. Anyway, to round this up, I can't even tell you how many times I have managed to change things for the better because I have taken a couple of months break. So that's that. Number 3, set realistic or even pessimistic expectations. Like I said in a previous video in this series, I think it was the one about my cover, my initial plan was to get the professional edit, the proofread, and formatting done in about 3 months' time. The thought of that now is just laughable. The worst part of that is that this kind of delusional expectation is just going to make you disappointed in yourself when it doesn't work out. And if you're self-publishing and can decide your release date yourself, that can potentially be even worse. I made so many plans throughout this journey that didn't work out. My original plan was to publish after 1.5 years, and now it's been 3.5 years. Imagine if I had set an official release date that was completely unrealistic and started marketing my book for that, only to have to take it back again because I wasn't finished in time. God, I don't even want to think about that. And even if you decide to publish traditionally, it might take years to find an agent to represent your book, and then it might take even longer for it to be picked up by a publishing house. I know it's nice to daydream about reaching all of your goals, but I would say that it's better to be a tiny bit pessimistic about how long things are actually going to take, just to spare yourself the disappointment. Number 4, find what inspires you and avoid that which makes you doubt yourself. I suppose this is a two-parter, but anyway, there will always be times when you lose motivation. Maybe life has given you a bit too many lemons and you just don't feel like making lemonade. That is when it's good to have a little cheat sheet of things that inspire you. Because creative people usually have creativity triggers that makes us feel creative. For example, my creativity triggers are taking walks in the forest. Big bonus if there are cute mushrooms around that I can take pictures of. Visiting old castles and art museums. And Golden Age Disney movies, because I grew up in the 90s. So when I know that I should be writing and I don't really feel like it, then I choose one or more things on this list and I do them. That usually helps. So I suggest you make your own little list like this to have when in need. The second part of this was to avoid things that make you doubt yourself. Because being a creative person and having fragile self-confidence usually go hand in hand. Or at least it does for me. If you have friends or family members or just people on social media that tend to make you feel self-doubt, then you should honestly just avoid them. Or at least avoid the subject if you can't avoid the people. There will always be people that don't take you seriously when you say you want to become an author. It would be nice if we had unwavering support everywhere we went, but such is reality, I'm afraid. And we are now at number 5. Do research beforehand. This is a boring one to finish on, but it is so true. If you are anything at all like myself, meaning very easily stressed and slightly anxious pretty much all the time, then be nice to yourself and research things thoroughly before making any decisions. If you want to self-publish, go through all of the different steps, gather information, ask other authors, just prepare yourself as much as possible because it will save you so much stress and anxiety in the long run. And if you want to publish traditionally, you do the same thing. But on a slightly more optimistic note, I didn't really know any of these things when I first got into it, and I came out on the other side with my sanity still somewhat intact. I just wanted to share some of my insights that I've had throughout this journey, and if I've helped even just one person with this, then that will make it all worth it. In my next video, I will be going through how I chose a publisher and the process of actually getting your book printed. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this and comment if you have any questions or thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back next time.